We started the day okay and ended the day with two, I wouldn't say unlikely breakers, but two less than likely breakers. I'm going to look to make a shoeing change on Well and Down. James said the only time she gets out of gear is when she's at top speed. He thinks maybe she's slipping. We do have just a little set of full suede shoes, and with the heat I would imagine the track's a little loose, but it's hard for me to make excuses. I mean, the track's the same for everybody. Every horse hits the track differently and comes off the track differently, and she wouldn't be the first horse. I guess aluminum shoes would help. So we're going to put some aluminum shoes on Well and Down and look to geez, that's a tricky spot. If she's qualified already for the race on the 3rd, I'm more apt to come back and train her a mile. James figures she'd train at 56, 55 right now if she had to. She's ready to go. That was a big mile. I was waiting to see what horse that was. They were over the half and won one in a piece and won a mile in 56. That's an incredible half. James was sitting maybe 6 lengths back. He figured, he was closing in on them, but had lost ground in the last turn with the horse in front of him. So either way, he felt he was coming half in 56 pretty easy, and she just kind of spun out coming out of the turn. So am I more apt to, because we are qualified, I believe, I have to make sure of that. If we're qualified for Ohio, do we bring her over here and train her in 55 next week? Make sure she's tight and ready to go to Ohio. You know what? I probably should talk to James about this. So let's leave it at that. We have options with Well and Down. I don't think speed is any issue with her. I would like to see some today, obviously. But she rolled off halfway down the lane. Not the first time she's done that in her life at any venue. She's done it quite a few times at Tamiko. So let's put the aluminums on her. I'm going to get her another set of hobbles too. They're a little shorter loops. They might fit her a little bit better. Don't know. Also, Broadway Roll rolled off. Now, Broadway Roll, when I warmed her up, I saw a couple little scuff marks on her outside shin. She's never really worn shin boots before. I said, well, I can't say that she did that warming up, but the scuffs are there. So we put a pair of shin boots on her, and in the last turn, she rolled off. Came in, there's 4 or 5 marks on the shin boot. So she's touching that outside shin, which is, you have her hung up to run out a little bit, so it's not that shocking. I think what we'll do, again with her, might get a 2-for-1 deal on the smaller hobbles and put a little set on her and put aluminums on her also up front. I don't want to put them on her behind because of that sesamoid that bothers her right hind, but I think putting them on her up front won't be a problem. So those are 2 changes that need to be made with the Pacers. Broadway Roll needs another trip anyway. She needs another trip anyway, and Well and Down needs a trip also. So that's where we're at with them. Start of the day started off good. Didn't really know what to think of Darling Please. I was happy they didn't charter with a break. She did make a quick little break down the backstretch. It's weird. She was trotting along, running out, and then she'll switch leads quick and run in quick. She steers like a dump truck sometimes, but I think she just touches that right hind jack, or the boots we had on her might not have been high enough. She didn't draw blood, but I could have swore that's what she was doing. She was good. That's My Girl was very, very good. James said she's probably ready to go a mile in 57. We'll probably race her at Mohawk first given chance we have. Darling Please is qualified. Might bring her back for another rattle next week. And Sweet Ambition's a little surprising. 2-2-1, 28-3 on the end of it. Jody had said she said, kind of a Stallion Series filly, and I said, yeah, she's just a filly, but she does her work well considering how the other 2 Pennsylvania fillies went. I don't think anybody's leaving Canada just yet. Not going to PA anyway. Skip over to the second qualifier. Frilly Fringes was a little weak. She had allergies. Is something bothering her? We're going to draw some blood on her tomorrow to check out, see how her blood work looks. Might get her scoped. What time is it? I think I can catch the vet. Get her scoped, see how her lungs, how her throat looks, and then have her up to the vet and get her checked out, see how she feels. Obviously, I don't believe that's the Frilly Fringes we've seen all year. So she needs some time, or if it is allergies, she may be the first one that gets some time off, because we're not going through this season again with this whole, the horse has got allergies and there's a little redness and inflammation in the airway. Next thing you know, the horse is bleeding. I'm not doing that this year. I've told everybody that many, many times. If we have some airway issues with these horses, into the July month. That's when it's the worst, and they're just not going to race. So if that's if that's Philly Fringes or otherwise, then so be it. Philly Fringes qualified 2, 2, and 3 last half of a minute, last quarter 30 and 3. I wanted to see a mile and 58 today, so she missed the mark by quite a bit. War We Welcome didn't. She was awesome. I said to Mario, we talked about it, 2-3 or so. There wasn't much we could do. The only two horses that were really going out of there were Philly Fringes and War We Welcome. Nobody was going to go any speed. I ended up on the front end and then let Chris Christoforo go, and I couldn't get by him. But War We Welcome did. She looked powerful. This is a filly that we've been very, very careful with. We were looking for 2-3 today. 2-0-1 and 2, 28-1 on the end of it. Not shocking. Very happy with War We Welcome today. Won My Heart Hanover, come out in the next one. Now, somebody pointed out to me right after the qualifier, well, the horse that beat her was a $300,000 yearling. I don't care. It doesn't mean anything now. You know, she was a little bully in the 2-hole, which she hadn't been. She a little racy, getting a little aggressive. That's okay. I don't know if that was it. Again, put her on the front end. She's not super comfortable on the front end, but I want to go mile 59, and if I don't remove, I know Matt's horse was kind of lost on the front end. We probably would have been over the half in 3 in a bit. So, we'd over the half in, I don't know, 101 and 3 or 101 and 4. I let Won My Heart trot around the last turn. She felt good. Then we come out of the turn, and she was just present. 30 seconds was well below what I wanted to see from her. But nevertheless, she trotted her last 3 quarters in 129 and 2. It was an okay mile. So I was mild. I was okay with both of them. No, that's a lie. I wasn't okay with both of them. I was a little upset with War We Welcome, a little more upset with Philly Fringes, but it's not their fault. They did what they could. Mechanically, both of them felt unsure of themselves, which is a feeling I haven't felt from either of these horses ever. So both of them are going up to the veterinarian. First of the week, I'm a Lovely Lady come out in the next one. Tipsy and Dixie, I was so mad. Miss Meringue ripped a shoe off leaving. Now, I don't want you to use that as an excuse. She was on the left line. Usually she's on the right line. We have her hung up for a horse running in. She's going to a half-mile track, so that probably won't change. We can take a little bit of that off next week to qualify her. She was okay. She tried a mile after making a break. She tried a mile in 2-4 last quarter, 29 last half, 59. She was okay, but ripped that shoe off leaving the gate. You know, was she at her best? No. She's also taking a trip up to the vet. So we have Philly Fringes, Won My Heart, and Miss Meringue going up to the veterinarian. I don't think there's anything mechanically wrong with 2 of them. Philly Fringes looks like her back's a little sore. She's stiff. That means that she's taking weight from other places. Or is her feet sore? Is her lower hocks bothering her? That'll be up to the veterinarian to answer definitively. None of these fillies have any severe issues, and I think all 3 of them will be fine. My concern with 2 of them is, or one of them is Philly Fringes. If we scope her today and she's full of mucus, and the vet believes this is allergy mucus, we take her blood, and there's an indicator in there also it's allergies, I may just say, kick her out for 3 weeks. There's no point thinking that we can will our way into Pennsylvania. The horses are ready to go, or they're not. It's not that they're not prepared. It's that physically, if they're having ailments right now, you can be sure they're going to have them in Philadelphia when it's 6 trillion degrees on July 1st. So Won My Heart Hanover was decent, okay. I'd like to get to the vet and never say, oh, this curb was bothering her, the one we crowded a little while ago, her front feet are a little bit sore. I would like to see issues, but we'll see. I'll leave that up to her. So as it stands right now, That's My Girl was fantastic. Darling Please was impressive. For a horse that I had zero expectations going into the race with her. I knew That's My Girl's not quite as great on the front end, or hadn't been in the past, so I said, we'll roll the dice and put her on the front. I think if I growl at Darling Please coming down the lane, she also trots 28 apiece, 29, or she makes a break. I didn't want to break rule number 1. As it turned out for the rest of the day, I'm glad I didn't. That's My Girl, good. Darling Please, good. Sweet Ambitions was pretty good. War We Welcome was absolutely fantastic. Philly Fringes and Won My Heart Hanover both were a little lackluster. I'm a Lovely Lady, 2 minutes last quarter, 27 and 4 last half, 58 and a bit, I guess, or 57, I don't know. She was good. James said very good. He said the last turn she was running in a bit. He said a gate and strap on the left, but I was watching him from way back. There was certainly no urgency in James to get her there, which frustrates me, but nevertheless, she was good. Tipsy and Dixie was fantastic for her first qualifier right out of the gate. 2 minutes and 4/5. Now you might ask, where'd Robert Shepard come from? Oh my God, they're calling us out the track. I can't find Jody. Now, because of COVID-19, the driver's room is closed. So the drivers are out here like I am, in the parking lot in their car. They're calling us out and calling us out. I'm looking for Jody, can't find him anywhere. It was a big rush. Robert Shepard this is the second time this happened, with Jody. Robert Shepard was standing there and said, "Hey, Shep, can you go with this horse?" He literally didn't even know her name, didn't know what number she was, jumped on and went with her. He said, "Gee, she's a really sweetheart. She's a nice filly. She's kind of sweet little filly." She is. 2 minutes, last quarter, and 28-4 for filly that had she ever seen the gate? If she did, it was just at home once. I know she never saw it here. So, Tipsy and Dixie, very good mile from her. And then, of course, Miss Meringue ripped a shoe off. Of course she did. She seems perfectly fine to me. We will put her shoe back on. We will make sure we have her up to the vet. And most importantly, excuse me, we will make sure she qualifies next week. Captain's Maid came out in the next 1 mile, 59, last half 56-4, last quarter, and 28-2. Was she good? Yes. Was she better? Yes. She was still scrubbing on her outside knee. A couple of options we can look into for her, but as of right now, she was good mathematically. Her line was okay today, but I know there's more to offer, and as long as she's hitting that knee and scrubbing on it, she's not going to bounce forward, so we have to get her out of that. And then Broadway Roll rolled off, touched her shin and made a break, and then there's James there. There's James right there, Sleepy James. He put Wellen down in gear and she rolled off. Not the first time we've seen her do that, as I said at the opening, but we have a plan to alleviate both breaks from Broadway Roll and Wellen Down. Aside from that, Wellen Down felt really good. They went in 56 last quarter and 27. She wasn't going to come 27. She was probably going to go a mile 58 and a bit, 28 and a bit in the end of it, which would have been just fine with me. I was happy with Broadway Roll today, except for the break, but we will work on that. I can see exactly what took place, so let's see if we can alleviate that. When I'm done this video, I'm going to talk to the blacksmith. 2 horses to shoe. Pronto. Anyway, a decent day where we welcome. We got a real good look at Jeez Mario's horses. As I said, we always knew Walk on the Moon and Where We Welcome were exceptional animals. Lincoln Hanover's been a happy surprise for us. Hopefully we can get a number of the other horses back on track, and we have a number of horses to qualify tomorrow. So that is it for Friday's qualifying session. I would say a decent session. Obviously we had some breakers. Miss Meringue very disappointed with the shoe and with a number of things, but she'll be fine. Broadway Roll and Wellen Down have both been suspected of breaking before and convicted of breaking before, but we have a plan to combat both breaks out of them. So I'm taking off. I got to go back to the barn, got to talk to the vet, got to talk to the blacksmith, and geez, it'd be crazy if I caught a couple of winks of sleep this afternoon. I am wiped out. So we got a couple of racing tonight, one at Grand River, 2 at Mohawk, I believe. Bottle of Red is here tonight. I got to be a little more careful with her. I haven't had a great week driving, to be honest. You know, it's been frustrating, but we'll look to climb out of that funk tonight. So we have Need Your Opinion and Bottle of Red here, Hometown Boys at Grand River. Tomorrow we have horses all over, scattered all over Ontario, and a ton here qualifying. So I do need some sleep because tomorrow is going to be a long day. Take care.